Well, Christine and Maurice, crime scene detectives are still on the scene here on Greenpoint Avenue in Brooklyn, where police believe a retired NYPD officer opened fire on a neighbor just outside this red brick building behind me. Sources say it was a long simmering feud involving the cop's apartment that may have reached the boiling point over a parking spot. Evidence markers in a pile of clothes on the sidewalk outside 185 Greenpoint Avenue in Brooklyn, where a 45-year-old man was shot in the head around 2:30 p.m., allegedly by retired NYPD officer Gene Barrett.
I thought it was a tire being blown out, and it kind of startled me.
Colleen, who didn't want to share her last name, was on her way to this bike shop across the street when she and the store owner saw the 51-year-old suspect, seen here in a red T-shirt and handcuffs, waving a gun through an apartment window at a female police officer.
And a man opened up the curtain, and he had a gun in his hand, and he pointed the gun at the officer. And at that point, she kind of like backed up into the doorway of that building.
Suddenly, heavily armed police, including emergency service officers in an armored vehicle, descended on the neighborhood. Chopper 2 overhead showing the scene, snipers on rooftops of nearby buildings, some evacuated in the chaos.
It was like at least 20 police officers right in the vicinity, right in this doorway with guns drawn.
Jared Friedman works a few doors down and took these photos as the tense standoff began, and a cop started frantically shouting.
He has a gun, get back, and then I was out here at the moment, and then we just ran back inside. It's pretty scary.
Barrett surrendered after about an hour. He retired from the NYPD in 2002. Sources say he had an ongoing dispute with the victim and his girlfriend, who is apparently the building's manager.
He was having problems with his landlord.
Louis Andino says he's known the retired cop for 7 years and calls him a nice guy stuck in a nasty feud over his rent-stabilized apartment.
Never in my dreams would I expect him to take it this far.
And we have just learned that former NYPD officer Gene Barrett has now been charged in this case. The top count he is facing tonight is attempted murder. The victim's name has not been released just yet, but sources tell us he is in extremely critical condition, possibly even brain dead, at Bellevue Hospital. We're live in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Brian Conybeare, CBS 2 News.